Hela, and welcome to Coffee with Avila, which is my channel. I am Aviana Lemaire, and here we talk about neurodivergent living. Today I'm going to give my one person's ADHD perspective on this concept of the ADHD experience of putting something off. They call it procrastinating forever, for days, for weeks, for months, for something that ultimately is only going to take a few minutes to do. I keep running into this as an occurrence, and I think it's very interesting indeed. So I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm having an interesting time frame. Life has been interesting. Just recently I've been irritated to the point of achieving an extreme level of peace I have not experienced before, and so I felt like I'm going to use that to do something. And one of the things that's really around in my head right now is doing things. Let me get comfortable. Doing things that one doesn't want to do, or trying not to do things that one doesn't want to do. I have a great list of these things myself. I have a truly messed up living situation, and a lot of things in my living situation are things I do not want to do, some things I cannot do, and I'm put into the weird position of constantly being confronted with stuff that needs done, whether it's something large and life-changing, or it's something small. It could be a chore. It could be something in a public space, or something that requires me to visit a public space in order to complete it. And so today I was doing a lot of cleaning, and I was just thinking about my energy the whole time. It was very much on my mind. I didn't get much sleep. I was awoken repeatedly in insane fashions. And so I was thinking the entire time that I was cleaning about my pace and how long it was taking. But the truth is, I was thinking about energy. I keep seeing people referencing how they put it off, again, ADHD experience. And these people don't all specify whether they are ADHDers or like pure specific ADHD, or if they are ADHD and autistic. So I don't know, but here's my ADHD and autistic experience. I don't put things off because of time per se. I might use that as a way to describe it. Oh, it's going to take so much time. But if I continue to speak, I'm going to explain, and I don't want to do something. My next statement will be something like, I don't want to do something that is that draining and that upsetting and that miserable that's going to also take that long. Because the time, the theory of time as an existent concept, is not what I'm concerned with. I'm concerned with the energy exchange. And I'm concerned with how much, as some people say, Spoon's theory. Spoon's theory, for anyone who doesn't know, I believe started with people who have chronic physical ailments, trying to express why they didn't have the energy. And someone was trying to express this, and they said, I don't have the energy for all the things in the day that someone else would have. It's as if you wake up every day with a certain number of spoons, and each task takes a certain number of spoons. So if you have to get up and perform daily self-care, as I call it, you need to do your hair and cleanse yourself, that's going to take at least a spoon. Preparing a meal is going to take another spoon. There might be chores around the house that each take a spoon, something like laundry. So before you know it, if you woke up that day and you only had a 3-spoon allotted day, you're tired, you don't have much energy, you have enough energy to equate to 3 spoons, then getting up and doing self-care and getting a meal and doing laundry might wipe you out. You don't have any more spoons, aka energy, for the rest of the day. I think most people know what that was, but when I ran across it, and it's used a lot in the autistic community, I wasn't familiar with what it meant. So in case you don't know, that's a synopsis. So sometimes you might wake up, some of us might wake up with 6 or 7 spoons. Some might wake up with 2 or 3. You might wake up with basically 3 all of the time, but no matter how many you have, that's it. A spoon per task, at least one, and then you're out and you can't do anything else. Someone can't say, oh, I know you cooked already, but will you help me cook? Because how are you going to extend the metaphor, how are you going to help them stir their soup all day if you haven't got a spoon with which to do it, right? It's always about energy for me. And I was thinking while I was doing this cleaning and kitchen stuff and going through old stuff in the fridge and freezer and, getting rid of stuff. It's also just an unpleasant task, and I was processing how I had so little energy, and I already felt at the very beginning of my day, while I was still brewing my morning coffee, maybe I'm already out of energy because of the way I woke up and the sleep that I couldn't get and all of this. So I just wanted to say, I'm not sure how many other people have noticed. In my experience, when I am putting something off, it's not necessarily because I don't want to do it because it's going to take so much time. It's very often because I do not have the energy to do something like that task when I know how much energy that task is going to take. And the more draining the task is, the less I want to continue it on for longer and longer and longer. So it might be a 5-minute task. But if it is something that puts you, and I'm not going to get into specifics because I kind of hate it when people do that. I have a very specific way of experiencing sensory discomfort, and I don't want to do that to anyone. But let's say there's a task that is universally thought of as being unpleasant. It's household, it needs to be done, but you specifically find it truly horrendous. It's a sensory nightmare. It drains a lot of your energy just to physically accomplish it, let alone the psychic energy it takes to keep yourself balanced, to attempt to stay centered, to do it in a calm way, to do it in such a way that hopefully it won't ruin your day. Let's say it's one of those tasks and you really, really are putting it off, but you know it's going to take 1 to 5 minutes. So you're explaining to someone else who's not dealing with limited spoons. In general, they feel like they always have enough spoons, so they're not processing the concept of starting behind the curve as far as not having enough energy for all that you need to do in a given day. You, in my experience, you have a tendency to try to explain to this person that you don't want to do this task. And while for you, the weight is very heavy because you understand the toll the task is going to take in your entire day, or perhaps into the next day, your night of sleep, how you're going to wake up, the course of your week. They're hearing it, and because they don't know what it is to be thinking energy-wise, I don't have enough spoons for this, they feel like they have all of the spoons, all of the energy, and they're just like, oh, come on, we can do this during a commercial break. Like, we're watching a show right now. Honestly, you could go do it during the commercial break, and then it'll already be over. They think they're being encouraging. They're telling you, you could go do it now, and it'll be over. But in your mind, it's like, wow, they're trying to tell me I could go use all of my happiness energy, all the energy that I have left for being in a good mood, because sometimes it takes a certain amount of energy just to feel okay that day. So they're like, oh, it could be over, and then you're past it and everything's fine, and you're processing that, yeah, you're kind of suggesting that I get up and take all the energy I have left for enjoying my day, my moment, our conversation, and spend it on something I really don't have energy for. You, like, let's say that this task is at least a 3-spoon task, and you just have the 1 spoon remaining for your conversation and for enjoying your evening. So you're just thinking, I'm going to be in a deficit. I'm not only going to sort of fail to do the task the way I need it done, things are probably going to go wrong, which will be even more stressful, Household stuff. Could be kitchen stuff, could be bathroom stuff, whatever it is, something you hate that's very upsetting. You're either now going to run out of spoons and possibly not going to be happy with how the task is done, possibly not going to be able to get it done because you don't have enough energy left, or worse yet, you're going to find some way to magically borrow spoons from tomorrow. And that means that you're not only going to be going into debt for energy today, pushing yourself harder than you need to and past your healthy limits. You're also going to be waking up tomorrow thinking, yeah, I knew it. I knew this was going to set me back. And then tomorrow, instead of waking up with a handful of spoons, you wake up with a couple gone. There's even less you can do that day. I don't know if that's an explanation that's coming across, but it seems to be the most popular one that everybody kind of relates to. It's kind of a system of checks and balances, and you only have so much energy. So for me, I just kind of have been amazed, because for years I've been hearing this thing, and I heard it from outside of the neurodivergent community, where other people are saying, you're just procrastinating. You could just do this task now. It'll only take 1 minute, 5 minutes, half an hour. And so I thought, okay, I'm accustomed to people who don't get it saying that. But a while back, I heard someone, and this person said it publicly, but I still feel like I won't say who it is, even though they put it out there and it was a whole specific point that they were talking about on their journey. I don't know, I just feel more comfortable not saying. This person said, as an ADHDer, they realized that they used to be ableist. And their point was not that they used to feel like they were enabled beyond other people. Their point was that they used to feel like if they just kept trying harder, more effort, the thing that a lot of people tell us as neurodivergent people, just try harder, and then you'll just be able to do it. You'll be able to do it like us. You'll be able to pass as something you're not. You'll be able to assuage our curiosity and our need to see you fit into the mold. This person was saying their ableism was kind of the belief that if they just kept on trying, they'd eventually be able to perform at a specific level and style that comes off as neurotypical. And long story short, they got to a point where they realized this actually isn't okay, and it's not healthy, and it's not helping me. And obviously, it's not really helping the community of people who are looking to you, maybe feel the same way, maybe have shame, maybe they're tired, and they're looking at you and you're trying to pull off NT, and your bar for success is, I'm faking NT properly today. Well, until you get to the point where you realize the detriment that that's taking on you, and you tell them, guess what, that's not healthy, it's not helping them to listen and think maybe it's possible. So I never want to suggest that it is going to be possible to transmute yourself permanently into the most unhealthy version of yourself. And for neurodivergent people, faking as if we're neurotypical is possibly the most unhealthy thing for us. It does not end well. Some people literally do not survive it. That's all I'm going to say on the subject. It's a common thing. It's a well-known thing. It's an ongoing discussion in the neurodivergent community. And I truly believe that some of that is a complete misunderstanding about what's even going on inside of ourselves, with ourselves. So I just want to clarify as much as I possibly can. In my experience, and I have seen this play out, but I'm just speaking with 100% first-hand knowledge, my experience, it has nothing to do with not being able to process in my ADHD brain. And it's ADHD and autistic, and I want to specify that because this is the amalgam. It's not just one thing or the other. This is unique, and we need to be able to speak now, because until a few years ago, the going medical belief was that we were impossible. But I do want to be clear that my one autistic and ADHD experience is that when ADHD brain is shutting me down because the task is miserable and I can't stand to get started, and nothing I can do can rev me up to get started. There is never a time when I'm thinking, it'll just be 5 minutes and I'll be done. What's wrong with me? Because for whatever reason, it seems quite obvious to me, I know this is a 3-spoon task of sensory, physical sensory, psychic sensory, mental, emotional, spiritual hell, and I barely have the 1 spoon remaining. And quite frankly, for me, Because of my weird living situation and things not working for me, I tend to need at least one spoon at the end of the day just so that I can manage to get in bed and go to sleep. There's a lot of stuff I have to do. A good amount of my workspace, function space, get everything done space is my bed. So behind me, we see little office-like stuff, a little writing box that I threw together. I made out of an art case and things that are over here because I simply don't have what I need. So I expand, I spread. If I need to do something, I need a surface very often to do something. So at the end of my day, I'm using at the very least one of my spoons just to move all of this stuff, to stack it, to shove it someplace. I have space per se, but I don't have space that I need. It doesn't function. It just doesn't work for me. It's never been what I've needed in life, and it's reached a hilt lately. So one of the things that I was dealing with, even before the stuff woke me up repeatedly, and the stress before I could get to sleep from extrinsic individuals and things, one of the things I was dealing with was that I didn't have any more spoons left at the end of my day just for clearing the bed off. I have had the experience of taking 3 hours just this week. I have been so exhausted because of I don't feel good with what they call, like, I'm going to call the D word. I don't believe I'm inherently disabled because I know what I've been like when I have the energy, and when it's not going, it's not leaving, it's not being spent on stupid things and worthless things and non-eternal things that are just a total waste. I do know that I am blessed. I get it. I'm blessed and I understand this. I know it and I love that fact because I feel blessed by it. I love a blessing. I can get myself in and out of bed. I can do some of the things that people take for granted. This is why I'm speaking from my perspective. Well, I'm doing that because I have the wisdom to know I'm having one life experience. But one of the reasons why I always specify that it's my perspective is not all of us have that. And it doesn't matter if we are autistic, neurodivergent, neurotypical, whatever it is. Not everyone can get into bed by themselves and out of bed by themselves, but it just so happens that my environment has gotten it to the point where sometimes I can't manage to get in bed. And a few days ago, because of physical ailments that have been ongoing all of my life through, because of mental strife, because of recent experiences, because of overwhelming trauma and PTSD episodes and things that have been going on lately. It took me over 3 hours to try to get in the bed because I was in a haze. I was dissociating. I didn't have the spoon, the one spoon required to end my day and go to sleep, because there was so much puzzle piece shifting I had to do to make everything fit so that I could physically fit in the bed safely. Ooh, just hit my arm on the desk, but it wasn't as bad as it sounded. It just startled me. But what I want to say is I had no idea that 3 hours was passing. I just know that before the 3 hours began, the reason why I knew it was 3 hours is because I had started my stopwatch for something, and then I forgot I had started it. So when I opened my phone, there it was, approaching 3.5 hours. I was amazed. I wasn't processing the passage of time. I was out of here. The dissociation was strong with this one because there was too much going on and I hadn't been able to sleep, and my body has been through a lot, and I was exhausted and I was in pain and I was in mental distress, and I didn't have peace and I didn't have quiet, and I was barely able to feed myself and hydrate because too many things were going on. And I didn't have the spoons for spending all day with a straw in my face trying to hydrate, or lifting up what for me felt incredibly heavy containers of liquids. You know, sometimes just getting the liquid to your face, some of us will know, some of us unfortunately will know that sometimes getting liquid from a filter or the refrigerator or wherever it is into your mouth just seems like too much and like you're going to break. I have times like this. I don't choose to show that. I probably will never choose to show that because I don't see the point. But I guess I'm not just humiliated by it to the point where I won't mention it anymore. So I'm going to tell you, again, with that information out there, it's never about the concept that it should have. I know it should have taken me less than 5 minutes to get into bed. It's about the fact that I had so little energy. I kept freezing. I was standing in one place and I didn't realize I was frozen still because it was literally too much on me to try to pick things up and put things away. And it's not just, hey, let me pick up this box. The box is functional. It's a writing box. It's a project I made, so I had a surface and some stuff for journaling because journaling is something I enjoyed doing, and at certain points in my life I have felt the sensation of it keeping me sane. So sometimes I go back to that, but I didn't have a surface for it. I didn't have a place to keep my pens and my tools and my tapes and my stickers and to be able to do it in the way that I want to do. I don't go all out with it to where it's like pretty planning or what have you, but I enjoy a strip of washi tape, you know. I need a place to put the tape and the scissors. I need a place so that it doesn't roll off all the time. So I did this project, and if I'm using it as the writing surface and the work surface it's intended to be, very often there are 15 to 30 things sitting on it and around it that can all fall and have fallen in the past. And I hate that. It's gross to me also because I have sensory issues. I like a hard floor, and the modern culture is not to have a hard, solid surface as a floor. So that's even more exhausting for me. That's like a personal thing. That's one of my, I guess, personal autistic sensory issues is I like cleanliness and I like sensical things. And to me, a solid, non-carcinogenic floor that you can wipe clean, that you can really, for me, that's my basis for my personal sense of dignity. So when everything goes avalanching and I had one spoon left and I'm running out of that spoon because I'm cleaning everything off the bed, and then there's an avalanche because it's a bed, not like it's a house set up with an art area and a proper desk and an eating area and all these different things. Things are puzzle pieced. I slide the coffee out of the way so I can sit my food down sometimes. That's just how my life has been. So when it avalanches and it goes everywhere, it's not just that now I have to take my body in whatever state it's in and see if I can pick it up. It's that then I have the sensory horror of engaging in a way that I don't want to with what I know is not properly clean. It's not like I would keep my tapes and stickers and scissors and things that I'm touching on my desk. I love to be able to be in the process of eating and writing. There's a certain level of cleanliness for me that's like above the waist in the house, counters and desks, that I don't consider to take place where everyone's shoes and feet are and where pets might have been and stuff like that. It's energy. And so obviously I had that experience last night. It's very fresh in my mind where things were falling and I was like, oh, great. I didn't have any energy left for doing it the proper way, and now everything's going bonkers. I just can't be the only one who realizes it's never about the fact that it should have taken me 5 minutes to clean off the bed if I had been perfectly energetic and in a happy place. It's about the fact that it's such an exhausting, endless chore that drains me on every level. It makes me not only have to do it physically, it puts me in a mindset of thinking, quite frankly, I think to myself, wow, I used to believe that God could take care of me to the point where I would have a surface for my needs. Like I could have a surface on which I would do art stuff, and then, it wouldn't be a whole thing and you don't end up ruining stuff because you get paint pigment someplace. As careful as I am, careful to a T. I'm talking post-traumatic level careful. Some of us will know what this means. I had an experience where I ruined something very nice and didn't know it was ruined until it was too late, because my best guess is that my watercolor somehow splashed on it and I missed it. So by the time I saw it, that's it. It's done for. I have the physical thing, and then there's the spiritual thing, and I end up in a crisis of faith because I'm like, wow, I spent my whole life trying to live to a certain degree, and to show for it, I have an environment that is crushing to my spirit in every conceivable way. And then all of a sudden, with all of that weight on my brain, it's not like that for everyone, but I know I can't be the only one. With all of that weight on my brain, I'm now supposed to just snap out of everything that's sensitive to me because I'm autistic, and everything, like the sensory things, and everything that's difficult for me because I'm ADHD, like trying to do something I hate when there's no pleasure in it, and ADHD brain greatly runs on pleasure and urgency. I'm working with all of that. I'm trying to work with it, and on top of it, I have a life full of stuff that hits me. It's not unusual for me to have a meltdown because I'm having an actual crisis of faith, and I do not have energy to have a crisis of faith and also accidentally take 3 hours to clear off my bed. It's a whole conversation, energy is, because I can't be the only neurodivergent mystic out there who's aware that you kind of have that system of checks and balances, and that sometimes something requires more than what you have to give. It's not that easy to go into energy debt. Some people don't even know how to rally like that, and it's not like it's a healthy thing. It's not like it's a desirable thing, but it's sometimes some people can just do it and take that energy that you know is going to put you behind tomorrow because you're borrowing tomorrow's energy today. But some people have to really learn how to do that. I've managed to have like half of me knows how to use way too much energy and then be behind for the rest of the week. And half of me learned how to do it even more because just grew up in a horrendous abusive situation where if things didn't get done properly, it wasn't just, oh, that's going to hurt. It was been afraid that I'd wake up and someone wouldn't still be okay, whether that was me or someone I loved. So I learned to dig deep and to absolutely, KI double hockey sticks myself. I honestly don't even know if YouTube is sensitive about that as slang, so I'm like, I honestly just KI double hockey sticks myself in order to get through, because I was hoping that no one would KI double hockey sticks for real. And I can't be the only one. It's a bigger thing. It's not about 5 minutes. It's about sometimes decades of trauma stacked on top of at least a very unique kind of brain. Some of us have a couple of different kinds of unique all rolled into one. Sometimes those different kinds of unique seem like they're fighting each other. Sometimes they work together in beautiful tandem. When I'm in my happy place and I'm doing something wonderful and happy, you have no idea the kind of stuff I can get done if I have the energy, right? And that's another thing I kind of wanted to talk about, just as a comparison. For anyone who is not processing the concept of energy versus time, you haven't had the thought yet, or you don't believe in it. If you would like, you can consider the difference between you at the end of your day having, let's say you have half an hour to play your favorite video game, whatever it is that feeds you, but let's say your favorite video game, and you're like, I've been waiting for this all day, this is going to feed me, I'm going to be re-energized, right? Versus, let's say that's one day. Another day in that week, you've got one half an hour at the end of the day, you're wiped out on both days, but on this other day, the half an hour you have is so that you can go around the house and clean everything that you haven't been able to clean for the rest of the week. Dishes need putting away, water bottles need emptying before the water is beyond stale. There are plants that are drooping and they need to be watered now, lest they just, be... You have got a lot of stuff to do. You hate doing it, but you've got half an hour, and for some reason you're motivated to do it tonight. Maybe someone in your family who's a little bit judgmental is going to visit the next day, and you just don't want them seeing how you really live because maybe that's just your private issue, right? So that one day you get an extra half hour to do something that regenerates you, The other day, you get an extra half hour to do something that's going to drain you like crazy. Which one are you going to be more apt to want to do and spend that time on? Because I could be wrong. Everyone varies. Some people will be like, I really want to get the bad stuff over with because then it's done. In my personal experience, my ADHD brain is going to hate every minute of the 30 minutes of chores that I couldn't stand, that I had been trying not to do. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be extremely difficult for me to do it. I'm going to have to employ everything I know about myself, my brain, my soul, and my spirit in order to get it done and still be okay. When it's over, I'm not going to feel like, yeah, I really accomplished something. I'm going to be like, oh my God, finally I can stop. And then I'm going to drop and collapse because it was that miserable and I'm degenerated. But when it's the same 30-minute time frame on this other day and I can play my game at, like, let's say it's 30 minutes of Stardew Valley, which I still intend to stream on Twitch. We'll be back at it. I just need to be okay in order to do it. The day when I get the extra 30 minutes to play that video game, I'm going to be like, yes, I can play my game. Let me turn the game on now. Before I manage to sit down, I'm going to turn my Switch on because every instance of Stardew Valley is going to feed me and I'm going to love it. And when it's over, it's not going to be relief that I'm done like it was with the chores. It's going to be, crap, I wonder when I can get my next half an hour on the game. I really need more time. It has nothing to do with the time. For me, it's about the energy. And I'm going to expend energy doing hateful chores, but I'm going to get it back playing Stardew or whatever my favorite game is. Somebody gave me Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. First Zelda game I've ever played. Ridiculously impressed. I could be getting something out of that, frankly. I would just love anything other than 30 minutes of chores. Maybe it's 30 minutes of singing. Which, I mean, you'd have a hard time telling me I can sing for 30 minutes and then getting me to stop at the end of it, but whatever. I'm just saying, it's not about the time. It's about the energy exchange. And so I think I'm going to cut myself as short as I can right now before I do more rambling. If you've got any thoughts about this, leave them in the comments. I would love, once again, to hear suggestions about stuff. I have a unique perspective. I'm a Christian mystic, and I am a person who excels at what they call EQ and stuff, like the human experience is my life interest. I'm the autistic person who gets people, be they autistic or non-autistic, right? So if you have ideas and you want to hear someone talking about something that's in the neurodivergent community that involves that mystical perspective, energy versus time, like that is kind of mystical. We run on energy, right? Some people define energy as the ability to do work. It's that simple. That could have been a short. Physics calls energy the ability to do work. So if you don't have any energy left, how do you expect to be able to do work? It's that simple. But if you've got ideas for content and you'd like to hear a unique perspective, a different perspective, a mystical perspective, a Christian perspective, or a perspective that actually does really get what people are, like the encoding, the NT encoding, I get that stuff, I understand that. I actually do get it. Please leave those suggestions in the comment section. And remember, if you got any use out of it, if you think anyone else will, like, share, comment, subscribe. One day I'll figure out how to deliver this outro quicker. What can I say? I didn't have the spoons to write a more concise one in my head. On that note, that's about it. Bye now.